wonder that I felt as a child. I can't run this race believing I might lose. Still so much to see and so much left to do. Yes, I'll fall before I fly, but no one can say I never tried. Oh, we just get one right around the sun in this dream of time. It goes so fast that one day we look back and we ask, was that my life? I close my eyes and think how lucky I have been to hold the ones I love and share my dreams with them. All those sunny days and all those starry skies, good morning kisses and sweet good nights. Oh, I can't tell them enough just how much that they are loved. Oh, you just get one right around the sun in this dream of time. It goes so fast that one day we look back and we ask, was that my life? We just get one right around the sun in this dream of time. It goes so fast that one day we look back and we ask, oh, was that my life? Oh, is that my life? Rolling on by.
The hottest ticket of summer of 2011 is coming.
But baby, I'm a
Tim McGraw.
I wanna go
It's the Emotional Traffic Tour
but it felt good on
with special guest Luke Bryan and the band Perry. Tickets on sale this Saturday at 10 a.m. in all Ticketmaster locations or livenation.com. Brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. Is building. Music stars will gather for country music's biggest night. It's the CMA Awards with Lady Annabella, the Sugar Land, Keith Urban, Taylor Swift, and a special duet.
my old friend. I recall the times we had hanging on my wall. I wouldn't trade them for gold, 'cause they laugh and they cry me, they somehow sanctify me. They're woven in the stories I have told and tell again. My old friend, my old friend, this song's for you, 'cause a few simple verses was the least that I could do to tell the world that you were here. 'Cause the love and the laughter will live on long after all of the sadness and the tears
Well, hello everyone. This is John P. Holstein, and you're listening to Prime Country Radio. Oh, excuse that. Tim McGraw Radio. That's right. Sirius and XM until May the 1st is Tim McGraw Radio. Sirius 61, XM 17, and Dish Network 6061. We are live right here on Music Row and doing some interviews with my good friend Tim McGraw. Well, tell us about the stories about the girls. Faith?
Oh gosh, there's so many. Audrey's full of them. I mean, she's just full of stories. But you know, Gracie and her were talking about something one day, and it's just simple little things that they say that really just makes you stop and think. But Audrey was talking about, you know, being upset because she was always the littlest one, and I'm just tired of being the little one. And then Gracie said, "Well, Audrey, I used to be little like you, and then I grew up to be me." And then Audrey was like, "Wow." I always think about, you know, and then I grew up to be me.
Well, you know, that is something though. So, can you basically enlighten us, or at least let the fans know, how do you pick the songs to be on the record that's coming up? I mean, how do you do that?
I guess the way I look at it is from a fan's point of view. I mean, I'm a fan of music, and I try to pick songs that I want to hear. You know, first off, it's got to be a song that I can feel like I can perform and I can relate to it and I can kind of pour myself into and give up a piece of myself with. Because I think a song doesn't work no matter how good it is unless the audience feels like you're giving a piece of yourself to them. And so I have to be able to feel that when I sing a song. But primarily it comes from just being a fan and it could be on.
Well, we were there at a recent show of yours of dealing with an out-of-control fan, and I remember hearing it on the CB radio. They said McGraw's going down for a fan. Could you enlighten that, let the public know about it? It was on YouTube, by the way. I'm sure that you saw that.
Well, I don't know about all that. Just that, you know, it was ruining my show. No, it was just, you know, and I'm not sure that the guy was really all that bad. You know, it was just that in the situation that he was in, there were a couple of guys down there that you know, by kind of being inebriated and tripping and falling over chairs and knocking people over, he kind of got into it with a couple other guys. So he was either going to get really beat up right there in front of me and cause a bigger scene, and security couldn't get there because of the crowd. So I thought the best option for everybody around him, himself, and the audience right there was just to kind of get him up and out of the situation.
Sure.
I mean, he was knocking a lot of girls over there, and I don't want to say that the guy was doing that on purpose. I don't think he was doing it on purpose. I think that once he just sort of started falling around and knocking people over, and then he started getting pushed back and knocking around. I think it just kind of escalated into something to where everybody's adrenaline got going, and so the best way to do it was kind of get the antagonist out of the way, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's, you know, definitely understandable, because when you're out on the road like that happens, and I see that in all kind of shows. So, tell me how you got to let your fans know how you gain weight for the next movie. I mean, you've got to let them know about that, because some of us
I ate everything. I mean, I worked out during that time, but I typically I don't watch what I eat a lot, but I try to stay, you know, between 185 and 190. But, you know, it seems like a couple of the roles I've had, I've got to gain weight for. So I kind of like that. You know, I can just eat and not worry about it. But the funny thing was, I guess Flick I didn't gain weight for. But the funny thing about this movie was, you know, it was an amateur UFC cage fighter.
Yeah.
And, you know, you see them on TV and they're all, you know, really cut and muscular. But I thought, you know, this guy's a redneck amateur guy, so it's not going to be guys that look like that's back there doing it. So I thought, you know, I'll look like a strong, you know, guy, but a little overweight and beer drinking kind of backyard, having a few beers and jumping in the cage kind of guy. And I show up, you know, Favreau is a pretty big guy. Mm-hmm. And then I show up, and he had been working out like crazy, so he was all cut and svelte and everything else. So I show up, and I'm the fat guy on the set. But, you know, it worked out for the part, I guess. I guess I made him look good, so, I mean, he owes me on that account.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody, you know, celebrate Christmas traditions. Everybody has their Christmas traditions, and some people would, you know, how does the McGraw-Hill family celebrate Christmas traditions? I know, but could you let them know?
at least a little bit on that
One
much.
tradition for Christmas that always comes to mind for me, and it goes back to when I was a kid, and we still do it at my house, is, you know, I'm sort of I'm a Heinz 57, of course, but a lot of Italian-American heritage in my family. My mother's main name was D'Agostino, and my grandpa was Giovanni Giuseppe D'Agostino, so
Ooh.
there's a lot of Italian in my family. So we've always had pasta, homemade pasta and sauce every New Year's or Christmas Eve. So we continue to do that in our family. Every Christmas Eve is our pasta night, and we have friends and family over. Individuals, how lucky we are to have our health, to have our family, to have healthy children, to be able to know that our house note will be paid, to be able to know that we're going to be in a home, know that we're going to be okay. I think it's a time where a lot of people don't know that, and I think it's time to kind of take stock of where you're at in life this year.
Well, and I mean, I couldn't have said it any better. I agree with you. I love your mom's pasta. And by the way, when I'm down there in Louisiana towards the New Orleans and Baton Rouge area, tell her I'll give her a call. But anyways, we all know that touring is fun for you, and we all know it is. That's kind of us to let loose or whatever. But it is fun for you, isn't it? I mean,
it is. Mainly because I remember more of it now than I used to back in the early days. There's not a lot that I remember of those tours. Yeah, I mean, look, as an artist, I think that's why you get into this business. That's why you want to be a singer. You know, that's why you want to be a rock star. You want to be out in front of thousands of people on stage playing guitar and having the music turned up loud. You know, that's what you want to do. I don't think you get into this business because you want to live in the studio or do all this other stuff that comes along with it. Although there's a lot of fun in that too, but the impetus for doing this is wanting to be out in front of people and to play your music live and to sing live and to put on a show. And it's still a lot of fun. And plus, I get to be on stage with my best friends in the world who are my band. We've been together, some of us, for 20 years.
Nope. You don't want to say that, do you? I definitely understand that. So, could you basically tell us, and, you know, the Country Radio Seminar, the CRS, you know, I'm not going to say when it was done because I was in high school at the time, but but I'm just telling you, when do you basically remember the CRS? I know that's where you said that's the first time you met your wife, because both of you and Faith were on the New Faces show during that time. Am I correct in saying that? I do believe so.
I remember I couldn't quite get the song. We were doing Indian Outlaw and Don't Take the Girl.
Yeah.
And nobody had heard any of them. People had heard Indian Outlaw, but nobody had heard Don't Take the Girl because the album hadn't been out yet.
Sure.
And I remember rehearsing, and the band that we were rehearsing with was like a band for everybody.
Yeah.
And they couldn't quite get the song right. Either song, they didn't care. And to my taste, it wasn't getting right. So I was really close to getting sick.
Ooh.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And not being able to perform because the song just didn't sound right. And I didn't want to be in front of all these radio people and get up and kind of burn my shirt in front of everybody, you know. So I was really getting close to coming down with something. Finally, they gave me a little extra time to work with the band, and we got the song the way I wanted to get it. And I remember doing Indian Outlaw, then I remember doing Don't Take the Girl, and I remember the reaction that the audience had. And I remember thinking, well, you know, maybe they liked it. Hopefully this means they're going to play it. You know, I didn't know what else to think at that time.
Politics.
And then after the show backstage, I was hoping this would happen, and they took a picture with all the new artists that were playing that year, and I got to meet my future wife, and that was the first time I met her. I was actually dating somebody then, and when I met Faith, they kind of looked at me, and I think that they were just kind of knew something was up with me at that moment, because I think, if I recall right, there was a comment made, but I kind of, you don't know what you're talking about, but they were right.